Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular council meeting of Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 to order. It was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of October 14th, 2025 be approved as printed. Prior to us doing that, I would like to add one item myself, which is a, for information purposes only, it's just an announcement from Ontario Northland, so. The resolution is moved by Councillor Bouchard, second by Councillor Allen. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting of October 14th be amended to add under new business item 12D, Ontario Northland, commercial building for sale, 381 Railway Street. All those in favor? And then move back to moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of October 14th, 2025 be approved as amended. All those in favor? Carried. The Township of Blackburn-Maston acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Apatippi and Sinipic Nation. We recognize their long history and continued presence in this region and the importance of this land to their people, past and present. The township values our growing relationship with Apatippi and remains committed to working together in a spirit of respect and mutual understanding. A reminder to all in attendance that council meetings are recorded and made available to the public on the township website for review. Move on to Chief June Black. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Shall I stand or just?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to stand?
Whatever you'd like.
Is that the proper procedure?
This is for you.
Oh, really? Well, I like to stand. First of all, I have a gift for you, Mayor. And this is from our office.
Thank you.
There's a braid of sweetgrass and a smudge hole in there. I'll leave that to you to figure that out, okay?
Okay.
So first of all, I want to say good evening to everybody and for inviting me. Oh my goodness, this is very exciting. It's not the first municipal meeting that I've been to. I've been to Kirkland Lake and Iroquois Falls as well. So but Matheson, yay, right? This is really, really awesome. I think, you know, throughout the years, and it's been many years that I've been here, it's been like a learning and growing for both of us. There's a lot of old perceptions of Abitibi, and those are just, you know, old perceptions. I like to bring truth and I like to bring honor from our community. And I know Matheson well. A lot of you I do know. The older crew, not so much. The ones that I did know were in business, and that was in the 80s. One of course, which was Ford Wilson, was a very, very good business friend. I brought with me today our flag. So we were to raise this flag at the day of the Truth and Reconciliation event, which unfortunately they forgot the flag. But I brought it, so if I could present that to you, Mayor.
Absolutely.
So this is the Abitibi and Anishinaabe flag. It represents us. It represents us as an Indigenous community. Your local Indigenous community, of which we are developing a very good working relationship. I'd like to see that relationship continue, and I'd like to invite you to our office the next time.
Yes.
So I present this to you. Here again is something that you'll figure that out. Right. This is mine.
All right.
Again, you know, we do come from a long history of grandfathers and grandmothers, which we like to call them. They're our ancestors, and they were here for long before colonization, which was before the signing of the treaty in 1906, 1905. When they signed the treaty, if you look at some of the rails, they'll have the year 1906 around that, approximately on there. Because that's when development started into a country that we inhabited before colonization. So, but I like to think we're all here now. Let's work together. Let's see what we can do as two groups coming together to work as one. So I won't light a smudge, not tonight. It's gonna take up too much time. And you have to get to your business. But unfortunately, I have to leave early. I have to still drive to Cochrane. So with that, I want to thank you very much for inviting me, Mayor, and council. Thank you so much. And to
Thank
the
you.
town. Thank you. Well, I'll just make my way out. Have a good meeting, everyone. I will. There's a lot of moves out there. Thank you.
Do we have any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof? Seeing none, we will move on to Ward 2 councillor appointment. It was moved by Councillor Campbell, second by Councillor McCutcheon, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-65 being a bylaw to appoint Ward 2 council vacancy be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 14th day of 2025. All those in favor? Carried. At that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Lee.
So now, Ward 2 Councillor Wendy Morris will read the declaration of oath and sign.
I, Wendy Morris, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, execute the office of Ward 2, to which I have been elected in this municipality, that I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of partiality, malversation, or any undue execution of such office, and that I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, as required by and in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. And I make this solemn declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Thank you.
Good. Great, thank you. Now the fun begins. It was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Gadry, be it resolved that the minutes of the following council meetings be approved as printed. Oh, apparently I made a mistake. First, on behalf of council, I'd like to welcome everybody to the inaugural meeting of our new township office and council chambers. This space stands for access, transparency, and service to our community. Special thank you to MVP John Vantoff for joining us, and to Chief June Black of Apetipi and Assiniboine Nation. We value your partnership and your presence. I'd also like to extend our appreciation to members of the Mennonite community for being here tonight and for the important role you play in the life and growth of our township. I'm also pleased to welcome our new Ward 2 councillor, Wendy Morris. Wendy, we look forward to all of your contributions. Thank you to our staff, contractors in the back corner, and partners who helped make this office a reality. As we begin our work here, our focus remains clear: safe communities, responsible infrastructure, support for families and businesses, and good governance. Once again, thank you, everybody. Move on to minutes. It was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Gattery. Be it resolved that the minutes of the following council meetings be approved as printed. September 23rd, 2025, regular, October 9th, 2025, regular. Questions, comments? What did I miss?
It was a special meeting.
Oh,
Special.
oh, special, October 9th, 2025, sorry. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Brandon. Moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that the council hereby receives the minutes of the following committee meetings as presented. BRM Events Committee, September 11th, 2025. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Moved by Councillor Gattery, second by Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that council receives the minutes of the following external committee meetings as presented. The NEPH board minutes of June 12th, 2025. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Move on to new business. It was moved by Councillor Campbell, second by Councillor McCutcheon. Be it resolved that the Township of Blackburn, Masson approves and supports the application to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation, NOHFC, under the Community Enhancement Program, Rural Enhancement Stream for the project entitled Play, Gather, Thrive, Recreation Renewal in Black River Masson Project. And that the Township of Black River Masson confirms its commitment to contribute $66,250 from the 2025 recreation budget toward the total project cost of $265,000. And further, that the township agrees to enter into any required agreements with NOHFC for the administration of the funding and commits to covering any project-related cost overruns should they occur. Questions or comments from council? Councillor Gattery?
I just wanted to make sure I was understanding that they've already applied for this grant.
We need the council resolution to apply for the grant.
Apply, okay, thank you.
Councillor Morsch?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would it be possible to please receive a detailed cost and scope of the projects that are talking about in the grant?
Yeah. Do we have that available now?
Yeah. To the chair, I can send it to you through email.
Thank you.
Councillor Allen?
I just want to confirm this, that this is money that we've already set aside for this application and everything like that. This was previously done in the 2025 budget, and we're just basically formalizing it here with just the council resolution.
Correct, but I'll let Mr. Jaguar answer that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yeah, so these projects were already given funds in the 25 budget to complete them. We are now going after funds to help with the cost, so anything we get would be like a bonus, so above and beyond.
Right?
Yep.
Councillor Morsch?
I just, the very last clause where it says, funding commits to covering any project related cost overruns should they occur. Is that a definite, like, are we, if we sign a grant or the application, is that going to, are we responsible, say if it's 100,000 or 10,000?
To my knowledge, that is in the NOHFC requirement.
So,
So that's a requirement of the grant?
Mr. Jaguar?
so if we were successful at getting the grant, then council would then have the decision making on what project they want to apply that grant for. Once you do that, we will have the responsibility of ensuring that those projects do get completed. So yes, so if, let's just say the baseball field, for instance, is on here and they give us $50,000 for new lighting. If the project would cost an overrun of 20,000, we would have to pay that shortfall and see the project through. We wouldn't be able just to stop the project at 80% because we can't fulfill our side or the overrun side.
And I believe it's a stipulation within the application, that.
Mhm. Yeah, and when we bring back, if we are successful, when we bring back the report to council on here are our options. We'll have all those risk management also built in so that we'll know if we're at a high risk or low risk on wherever we want to apply those funds.
Councilor Morris.
If you have a certain scope for the grant, do you have to do everything on that, or can you pick and choose which ones you might want to do with that money?
So as long as they're in the application, then we can apply them at any which one we want through that grant.
Okay.
That's why it's a quite, like, the list is quite long. And then if we get funding, we'll decide where we want to apply them more.
And we did, I think or it is available, that list of where where we had to apply for. Any other questions or comments from council? Call for a vote then. All those in favor? Moved by Councilor McCutcheon, second by Councilor Campbell. Be it resolved that council approve the following to attend the 2026 Roma Annual Conference from January 18th to 20th, 2026, it should read. And that related costs be allocated in the 2025 budget for pre-registration at the early bird member rate of $607 per delegate. So just to remind everybody, this is the conference that last year Mr. Lee and I attended in Toronto. And I think we had a good eye opener, but we did a lot of networking, met a lot of people, a lot of suppliers, a lot of other communities as well, and it was a very, very good conference. So I'll open the floor to questions or comments from council. Councilor Allen.
I think it's good that we get this early bird registration done now, because I know with our annual conference, there were some things that we missed out on. Because we didn't get that done quite early enough, so there's a few things there that we could have participated in that we weren't able to, so I think getting it all done, said and done now is a great idea, so that way you have all the opportunities at your fingertips when you go there.
But true, good point. And Mr. Jagger and I were just talking with, actually the Mennonite community is, the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so the more times we're in front of somebody asking for money, the odds of getting that money are going to be increased. Any other questions or comments from council? Oh, Ms. Larson.
To council and mayor, just so you know that your budgets, your training budgets and whatnot are still under, so this isn't going to affect the overall 2025 budget.
Perfect.
Do we need numbers or names or?
It's up to council, decide who wants to go, who's available.
Okay,
I recommend one staff, one councilor at a minimum.
okay. Councilor McCutcheon.
Mr. Mayor, I recommend that the mayor go and the town CAO go.
Councilor Allen.
I second that.
Okay. Thanks. I'll call for a vote because I can see where this is going. All those in favor? Carried.
One, you knew what was happening.
Moved by Councilor Allen, second by Councilor Bouchard, be it resolved that the regular council meeting scheduled for Tuesday, November 11th, 2025 be rescheduled due to the observance of Remembrance Day by the township for November 12th, 2025. Any questions or comments from council? Okay. I will call for a vote. All those in favor? Brings us to 12D, which is the item we added. It was moved by Councilor Gaddery, second by Councilor McCutcheon. Be it resolved that council received the public notice from ONR regarding the commercial building for sale, 381 Railway Street as information. So this, what you have in front of you is an advertisement that the owner posted on October 11th. I can't tell you where they posted, but they just told me they posted it. Basically, it is putting out for sale the owner building as the building, the sale is not completed. And we have until, or they have until October 31st to receive proposals. After that date, if they don't have any proposals that they have accepted, the building will again be slated for demolition. So I'm just bringing that to information and make that as public as possible for residents or non-residents that want to purchase a building and move to town. Questions or comments from council on that? All those in favor? Moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Campbell. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-62, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Black River, Mass, and be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 14th day of October 2025. All those in favor? Moved by Councillor Allen, second by Councillor Gadry. Be it resolved that resolved that bylaw number 2025-63, being a bylaw to repeal bylaw 2024-42, procedural bylaw amendment, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 14th day of October 2025. Questions, comments? Councillor Allen.
Just curious, as reading through this, it doesn't quite say what bylaw we're repealing. So just to,
Question and answer period.
okay. So this is just removing the question and answer
Yeah.
period that we amended initially, so now we're removing that amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Councillor Morris.
I was just wondering, instead of removing or repealing it altogether, could we not amend it to maybe have, when anybody, residents have any questions or anything, they can submit them to Hanji or the clerk ahead of time, so that you have some kind of control over the meeting?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I just like the contact that the residents are able to have with council directly. I think that's important for the community. That's just my opinion.
No, it's a definite possibility. We were finding that the question and answer period we instituted because obviously we want to make sure that every resident gets an opportunity to speak and have their questions asked and answered. But we've come a long way in the last year, so we have a new office. Everybody answers the phone, everybody answers email, so we've come a long way with our staff being available and our council members being available. But having said that, if we were to institute something like that, where we at least still put it online, it still gives that option that an individual could drop off a question at the front door as well. It's just that in here in the council chambers, we were getting questions that weren't following we were getting questions that weren't even on the agenda, or questions that could have been asked by a staff member. So, Councillor Morris.
I did speak to the clerk in the Lister, and because they do have a question and answer period, and they do control it by sending the questions directly to the clerk prior to the meeting, and they have to be approved by the clerk, and then they can be read at the meeting, and they should pertain to what's on the agenda, and that would stop other people from coming in and just blurting out questions. And again, I believe it's a direct line. I mean, I know the staff is doing a wonderful job, and I believe, yeah, that most of the questions could be answered by staff prior to. However, I would like having that open line to council.
Councillor Allen.
With that being said, I know that was one of our options that when we initially put that out, the question and answer period, and you can also email the clerk to ask your question through the clerk. Now, my question for the clerk is, did we get any questions during that time?
Mr. Lee.
Through the chair, there were very few questions. Most residents came, they would ask for questions directly to council, as opposed to coming to staff first.
Okay.
Councillor Morris.
Could we not amend it though, that you're not allowed to ask questions. That's my whole point, that you don't come in here and ask a question unless it goes through the clerk. That's the only way you can have a question submitted.
Yeah, if that's something the council wants to consider, is to put the jurisdiction through the clerk at a prior to a meeting. If council is in favor of that, we could amend that resolution to read that properly. Mr. Lee?
Through the chair. In this instance, I would not pass this bylaw and I would bring back a draft bylaw to amend the previous one to eliminate the portion where residents can ask questions and instead they're submitted right through the clerk. So I
Okay.
put in the wording in the bylaw.
Okay, so do you want to have someone defer this, or?
No, we'll be, because this is to repeal, so instead we'll go for an amendment.
Okay,
So bring back a draft amendment at the next council meeting.
okay. So you want to do a new resolution, or do we just defeat it?
I have to draft the amendment first because this is just a repeal.
Okay,
So for this one, I would say we just don't pass it. Don't pass it, and I'll bring a new one.
okay. Can we do that? Can we just
Yeah, just don't vote.
don't vote, move on? Is council in favor of that type of position then? And we'll come back with a new suggested bylaw for that. Okay, good with that? Okay. Perfect. Moved by Councillor Gadry, second by Councillor Campbell, be it resolved that bylaw number 2025-64 being a bylaw to appoint Committee of Adjustment be read a first, second, and third time and finally passes 14th day of October 2025. Questions or comments from council? All right, call for vote. All those in favor? Great. It was moved by Councillor McCutcheon, second by Councillor Gadry, be it resolved that this regular council meeting is hereby adjourned at 6:59 PM. All those in favor? Thank you, everybody, for showing up for the first meeting ever.